thought I'd work on this mandolin some more. What it is, I left this fretboard on the side, this natural wood, but I don't like the look of it between this and the white binding. So I've been trying out a couple different things here. This is white fingernail polish that I'm putting on here. And it looks like I'm going to have to put it on in more than one coat. Like on the other side, I tried some acrylic white paint that I have, and it came out okay, but same thing, I had to put it on in 2 layers. I'll show it to you here in a minute. But anyway, I went ahead and taped it off on the neck area here. Anyway, I was going to suggest, I use fingernail polish a lot for fixing things on guitars. Sometimes you can find colors that will match a finish, like if you get a chip out on a guitar. I know it looks kind of funny sometimes to take your guitar to a place that sells fingernail polish, but you can sometimes find an exact color match. I've done that a couple times on guitars. It saves you from having to mix a color. It's not that expensive. And when it dries good, you know, you can get them in acrylics and or enamel. It's looking pretty good. Seems like the more I use it, the more opaque it gets. Well, I was getting better at putting it on there. And once it sets up for a little while, then I'll pull that tape off of there. And clean up on the fretboard that I need to do. There we go. That looks all right. You can see I let that set up for a little while, and I'll pull the tape. Here's what the other side looks like with acrylic paint that I have. Oops, where's it at? There we are. Everything's an experiment. Everything's an experiment. So once this dries up a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and clean that all up, and then we'll do some finish work on it. I still need to kind of sand that top down some a little. I'm just gonna lightly sand the top of it a little bit. It's got a few fine scratches in it, and I think using like a 1200 grit on it, and then I'll polish that out, and then I'll put the tailpiece back on it, put the tuners back in it, and probably string it up and see what it sounds like. Oh yeah, put the little pick guard back on there. See if I can, if I want to or not. We'll see what happens there. Probably will. I'll probably put it back on there. just because it was on there. Alrighty, well that's it for right now. And the mandolin is progressing. All right, bye now. All right, back on this mandolin. Going to do a little bit of collar sanding on it. I'm going to use some of this wet dry right here. It's 1500. What I'm going to do is just lightly go over the top of this a little bit and probably over the whole body. What I like to do is put a couple drops of dishwater soap in my water. What that does, it just helps keep the sandpaper from plugging up. So all I'm going to do right now is just kind of lightly go over this a little bit. What this is going to do is help clean that top up a little. I'm not after sanding it down per se. All we're going to do is kind of smooth things out again. This poor old Mando's been around the neighborhood a few 100,000 times. Just got a lot of grime and stuff, and I need to also clean up my fretboard from where I put that fingernail polish on the sides of it. It's just basically going to help clean it up. And once I get this process done, then we'll come back over it with some, probably use some scratch X on it. And then see how she looks, and then we'll start putting her back together. We've had a really good change in weather out here, and I was half tempted to start back on the jazz guitar and get that into primer at least. But I got so many other little projects going. I got this going on. I got a jewelry box I'm trying to make for my daughter for her birthday. I don't think I'm going to make the deadline. That's this weekend. I got such a long ways to go on that. But right now, that project, everything's gluing up, or most of it is. Still got a lot of ways to go. I guess still got to make the drawers themselves for that project. But anyway, see how that cleaned that up. Took that grimy look off of there. All I'm going to do is go over this yellow that I put on here. And all I'm doing is knocking down some of the roughness of the yellow. I'm not trying to sand anything off other than, you know, the dust that gets in your paint while you're painting and stuff always protrudes above your paint work. One little blemish there. I'll just live with it. It's not going to be perfect anyways. I'm really not making this for anybody. I don't even know how much I'll even play it once it's done. I'll probably goof off with it for a week or two and hang her up and call it a day. This was just something to occupy me during the cold, snowy month that we had. Couldn't believe how much snow we got. We got over a foot of that stuff here. I couldn't believe that. I thought once I moved out of Prescott, Arizona, I wouldn't see any more of that, but well, was I wrong. So like I said, I'm going to do is just knocking down some of the roughness, or actually all the roughness. You can feel it as you're sanding too. You'll feel it. And this yellow that's on here was that Rust-Oleum stuff. I was looking at my model car paints the other day, and they're all made by Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's pretty good. I've never had any problems with it. I've used it off and on guitar builds. I did a custom build one time that I used Rust-Oleum, kind of an ivory color. Boy, that came out just gorgeous. You couldn't ask for a better surface finish, and just came out really, really nice. I'm hoping that's what I'm going to be using on my jazz guitar. I ordered that green with the copper flake in it, and it's supposed to flip-flop back and forth. I've watched a couple of videos now on it, and when they show it off in the light, it go from green to the copper to the black. And so I'm kind of excited to see that when it's all done. But really wanting to wait until it's the weather really makes a big change. I don't want to get started on it and have to stop, that kind of thing. Well, my fingernail polish worked out great. What I'm doing now is just going over where I had to tape off the binding. It's got a little bit of a ridge there, so I'm just going to go over that a little bit, kind of knock that down. Not trying to knock it all the way down, just trying to get some of the heaviness off of it. Yeah, I know some of you guitar gurus out there probably didn't really care for this these videos on the mandolin, but I'm an old guy and just trying to find stuff to do instead of sitting in my chair waiting to die. So anyway, all right, so now I'm going to come back over this and go over this with some Scratch X, I think. I have two kinds. I got this Scratch X. I was probably going to wind up using on it, and I have this other stuff. I don't know what it was. I found this in my car. It's some kind of a commercialized polish that they use on cars when they detail them at the dealer. Yeah, somehow, some way they left it in the car. So anyway, works really good. I mean, it's really good stuff. So anyway, let's shake this up a little bit. I just noticed you do a little scraping right here. Try to make it look as good as I can. This thing was really beat up when I got it. We looked at some of the earlier videos on it. I don't know, I've got a heart for these stringed instruments. Some of you out there will either make wall art out of this or just throwing it away. But I just can't do that. If I can save it, I'm going to try to save them. Might as well clean some of this up a little bit. I'll tell you what, these hardback razors are a lifesaver when it comes to doing stuff like this. use them quite often. I go through them really quick. When I had my other shop out in Arizona, I'd go through these 100 or they come to a pack, 100 to a pack or something like that. I'd go through those 2 or 3 of those in a week. I was doing a lot of guitar work back then. Alright, I'll finish that up later. I still got to clean the frets and stuff, but I want to do this body. I want to show this real quick. I'm just going to use paper towels on it. You can use cloth. Cloth works really good. It's just the paper towel is handy. Get this in the camera here. And I just work in a circular motion. What the Scratch X is going to do is help pull some of the fine scratches out that I just put in it from the sandpaper. This old mandolin not gonna have what to act like. Being all nice and clean like new again. It'll be interesting when I get back together to see how high the string height is on it. I may have to do some adjusting on that. Get that string height down where it belongs. Yeah, that's cleaning up pretty good. See that? It's showing the camera, yeah. Can turn it over and do the same thing on the back. Yeah, this has a little orange peel in it, but it's not real bad. It really came out pretty even Steven. I was really shocked about it when I sprayed it the other day. But I think what helps in that is heating the paint up. And when you heat that paint up, it makes it atomize finer. And it doesn't clump up on you like it normally does. So I just got in the habit of doing it. I do it all the time. I don't care if it's summertime, what time it is. I'll heat that can up. That sure is a pretty yellow. Once I use this Scratch X, usually what I do, I just use, I can use that Minwax paste wax on here, or I know a lot of you guys are going to cringe, but I just use furniture polish on it. I've gotten so much flack when somebody saw me one time using Pledge on one of my guitars. Well, if you ever have to do a repair to that, you know that you'll never get that wax off of there. No, that's not true. They make this product called wax and grease remover, and I use that no matter what. If I have to do a patch repair on something, I always hit it with that wax and grease remover. I've never had any problems. Never had an issue using furniture polish on my guitars. Never. I don't know where these guys got this idea that it's not any good for guitars, but But if you want to spend money on stuff that says made for instruments only, then you just go right on ahead. You do you, and I'll do me. As you get older, you know, you get to where you just don't care about some things. I mean, I care about a lot of things, but I care about how many people may not make it to heaven. I care about all that stuff. But when it comes to things, I've been doing this stuff now for so long, and I've tried everything out, done just about everything you can think of. I've done it. When it comes to guitar making, all the woods, every kind of manufactured pickup that's out there, I've done it. But anyway, see that? Came out pretty cool. All right, so next thing we're going to do is going to put tuners on. I'm going to do that off camera. This one's run a little bit long now. And I'm going to go ahead off camera and finish cleaning up my fretboard, clean the frets. I'll just use some steel wool for cleaning the frets up with. And then we'll put the tailpiece back on it, and I'll get the strings out. And the bridge is right here. See how that goes. See what's what on all that. Somebody put a little metal piece in here. I might just go ahead and leave it in there. Can't see much use in just changing it out. It seems to be working fine. So I'll probably put that back on there just like it is. Figure out my scale length and go from there and put my, go ahead and see if I might put that back on since it's got a shadow there. It's got a little rubber garment that goes on here and here, but it's missing one, so I don't know what I'll do with that yet. I'll figure something out. Alrighty, I'll bring you back in once I get a little further along. Bye now. All right, here she is. I just gotta put the strings on it. Tuners are in. Stop tailpiece is on. This is free floating. I think it came up pretty cool. A yellow mandolin. Alrighty, string her up here in a little while and see how she sounds. I'll bring you back in a little bit. Bye.